guys, Ash here coming at you today, Watcher of Realms. Welcome to the video. Send us some positive vibes and love your way, especially if you need it out there today. Today, we're going to do an ambitious thing. I'm trying to get through the top 20 guild boss heroes in the game. Things have changed. Things have changed over the past year. There's some oldies and goodies still on the list, but there's some new additions as well. I want to try to be brief. That's very, very challenging for yours truly. But instead of reading their entire kits, we're just going to kind of go through the list, maybe a comment or two about each hero, and then you guys can let me know who I snubbed in the comments below, and make sure you tell me who you take off my list. So let's just get right to it here, and let's start with the fighters. I think that overall, fighters are the strongest guild boss type of or class of hero in the game. I have the more fighters than any other class on this list today, and I think for a very good reason. Let's start with Salazar. He has that incredible burst damage and he brings bleed to the table. So really good option there, especially when you can pair them with the Scarlet Hunt artifact. Deals 30% extra damage to targets inflicted with bleed. So number one, Salazar. Number two is Volca. Volca still makes the list, guys. She can actually deal us some nasty damage. She has built-in lifesteal, easy to keep alive as well, depending on positioning, but you don't even have to use her. She's still widely used on a bunch of teams out there, really for her Awakening 1 ability. Allies to redeployment time minus 25%. What else do you need from me from Volca? Number three is the best DPS in all of Guild Boss still to this day. It is Xilatu. Xilatu especially good on Infernal teams, which makes a lot of sense. We'll have the Infernal Lords obviously listed on the list here as well, but she can channel her energy. She basically charges up her energy when she's not attacking, so it makes for a real lot of damage against that Guild Boss when paired up with an Infernal kind of channeling Lord. And there's an epic and legendary option for you guys out there. She's just great DPS everywhere, but specifically where she really shines is Guild Boss. Number four is Arrogance, guys. Arrogance does target air, but he is a jack of all trades, master of none, maybe? I don't know. I feel like that doesn't give him the justice or the due respect that he deserves. There we go. Arrogance is really, really good. He has burning as well as a great talent, kind of extra attack speed, excuse me. So you build them pretty fast with some nice damage, and he will not let you down against the guild boss. Five is my most wanted lord in the game, maybe second most, in Aracha. I have to get by with Lineria, which is fine, but Aracha is fantastic. She is a fighter, but she's going to also benefit all of your range units. Faction team members' attack ranges are increased for 1 tile away from the target, increases their damage by 5% up to 50%, and she is a piercer, so great synergy with the likes of, well, somebody else that we're going to be seeing on the list in just a moment here. Number six is Valeria. Valeria gives amazing damage from a chaotic fighter, but also, unlike most chaotic fighters out there, or most chaotic units, she's not just going to kill herself entirely. She has a lot of self-sustain built into her kit as well, which is nice. So you get a lot of attack. You get the talent increase attack and defense based on HP lost up to 60% at 30% HP, right? So really nice synergy there again with the chaotic, and she brings unkillable as well. Will not die from damage, so there's plenty of time to spot heal her and keep her alive while she just absolutely assaults the guild boss with her DPS. Number seven on the list is Valderon. Oh, I wish I summoned him. I wish I summoned him. I'm very jealous of those of you who did. What can I say? Just insane burst damage and built-in unkillable as well from this chaotic fighter. And number eight is Lust. Yeah, we're not done with fighters. We have 8 fighters on this list, and Lust is certainly not the worst of them, but she absolutely deserves a lot of love in a lot of the top damage teams out there, and she's all about the damage. Great in a Nightmare squad as well. She has built-in rage restoration. She has a lot of damage, as I mentioned. What more do you want from a fighter? That concludes our list of 8 fighters. Let's move on to the one defender on our list. So the only defender on our list, guys, is actually going to be Toreador. I think that Toreador is the best defender by far for Guild Boss inside the game. He's hard to get. He's obviously a Nightmare Lord, but the thing about him is you build him with some attack speed, and each attack inflicts defense reduction on the target for 5 seconds. That is a 20% defense reduction. That is really, really nice to have as a main debuffer from a tanky Toreador who can actually deal a little bit of damage as well. So is a great defender for Guild Boss. Get more damage out of everybody else alongside him. Number 10 on the list, I said we were going to mention some beast mode piercers. I should have been plural there. Well, we have Silas, only the best DPS in the game, still for my money. He's still old school guy, cheap costs, has that old marksman vibe in the game, but he has the soul sniping. He has the true damage, the full penetration, and just a ton of DPS no matter where you use him inside the game. Comes in at number 10. I think probably my second favorite range DPS in Guild Boss, especially for my team personally, is Hex. Another both Infernal and Piercer here who can synergize with the extra range with Aracha. Hex is just an insane DPS. I love this dude. He's a marksman who deals magic damage as well. He does have a little bit RNG involved in his kit, so that's kind of the only very, very small knock on Hex. But either way, you're going to get a lot of damage on Hex. And again, like I said, he fits with two of the more popular lords in Aracha and in, you know, your Twin Fiend or whomever for an Infernal team. So Hex is just one of the most popular and deservingly so heroes in the entire game for Guild Boss. Setram, still the best shield breaker in all of Guild Boss. This guy, you know, he's the walking armada of burst damage and multi-strike, and just when he goes into that fortress stance, watch out, that shield is going to burst. 13 is Iovar, probably one of the most popular heroes in the entire game if you're lucky enough to have him. I mentioned that Aracha was my most wanted lord. Iovar is my most wanted lord of the game, man. This dude is insane. I've seen some just busted videos on this guy. He has defense penetration. He's summoning all these flying swords. Every time an allied marksman casts their ultimate, he's gaining more, and then he conjures them up to do massive continuous damage. He is a pleasure to watch, and hey, maybe someday I'll have him. We have a tie for 14, only one tie on the list, but I thought it would be apropos. We have Twin Fiend, and then we have Pyros. Obviously, Twin Fiend is better than Pyros, but Pyros is so much easier to get fully awakened. So I still use Pyros on my account, even over Soul Cadence, for example, because I have them all the way at A5. So Pyros and Twin Fiend are tied at number 14. They're all about basically channeling the damage of all allies, and then this massive, massive burst of energy. There's a reason why Infernal kind of channeling is still the most popular meta in all of Guild Boss to this day, as it was almost a year ago. Number 15, guys, I mentioned him. It's Soul Cadence. Soul Cadence works a little bit differently than Twin Fiend, the other Infernal Lord who we spoke about on the list just now. Instead of him, he's still kind of channeling energy, but instead it's kind of going towards him, right? He's not making everybody stop and then just sucking everything up or soaking everything up. He also brings burning. He has great burst damage, but he does need to be awakened 1 to be better than an A5 Pyro. So as I mentioned, I actually don't use him on my account because I do not have him at A1, and I find Pyros to be a better option. But if you can get this guy awakened 1 or beyond, congratulations. At A1, he'll inflict a 25% physical and 25% magic damage against the target. That is insane. Number 16 on the list is Laurel because of her talent. Upon her death, a 50% rage restoration for everybody around her. Throw in an invigoration set as well to, you know, beef up and buff up our nukers in the game. And then just go ahead and retreat and get another ultimate on all the surrounding units that are next to Laurel. So she's fantastic, and she doesn't even really need gear, right, to be able to use. She does give some damage increase as well on her passive if you do want to leave her on the battlefield for any amount of time, which you can strategically do, but mainly she's used to make sure that everybody's ultimate is ready for the shield, and then you're good to go. Coming in at number 17 is going to be Hollow. Hollow is so good, one of the best epic heroes inside the entire game. She's got decent heals, and she's got great rage regeneration, 2 staples for any Guild Boss team. Number 18 is going to be Elowen. We just spoke about the staples of a Clan Boss team, and that is, again, rage regeneration and heals. She also dispels. She also has a Wood Elf that can heal in areas outside of her range. Number 19 is Leia. Leia is a great Watcher Lord. Not only does she have heals as well, but she also has Rage Regeneration, and she has damage increase as well. When the ultimate is triggered, 10% damage to all allies in range. So some people prefer Elowen, some people prefer Leia. Depends on the team that you're running, but both of them are, you know, the most wanted and widely used heroes in terms of healers in the game, I would say, by a pretty wide margin. Probably Hollow is right there behind them, but those two are certainly the most SS tier in my opinion. And then number 20 on the list, guys, what list would be complete for Guild Boss without literally the best, the most used Guild Boss champion inside the entire game? It is Dolores. Dolores is on every team. You look at the leaderboards, it's all Dolores all the time. She's cheap. She's got inspiration. She basically gets more attack out of everybody in her range, and she's just a staple of everything inside Watcher of Realms. She's really built differently, and I love that she's an epic on top of everything else, right? She's way more accessible, and then once you do get her, you can slowly work your way up to fully awakening her, unlike some of the hard-to-get legendary lords on today's list. So guys, who did I snub? Who do you agree with? Who do you disagree with? Let me know in the comments below. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.